Hello and welcome to another tutorial for USOR games. In this tutorial we're going to continue our series of character sheet tutorials. I hope you've gone through the first 4 or 5 parts of the character sheet overview. In this video we are going to be showing you how to create a pretty basic character sheet for a combat focused character. We will of course be assigning the character a primary focus and a secondary focus, and I've explained what all that stuff is in a previous tutorial, so if you're not sure what that is, go back and see one of those previous ones. But basically, because you can do both, that gives your character more diversity in terms of what kind of abilities and skills he can use. But for the purposes of this video, since we're going to be creating a starting character, we're pretty much going to be ignoring what the secondary focus is and just focusing on the primary focus. So let's go ahead and start. We've already opened up a character sheet, and we'll just give ourselves any old name is fine. Now, as I mentioned before in a previous tutorial, the total earned character points can be whatever starting number you want. Usually, the game master before you start the game will assign you a certain number of character points. But in this tutorial, I should say, we're going to assume that you are starting with the minimum amount, which is 16,800. And let's go ahead and make the primary focus combat, of course. And like I said, secondary focus for our purposes doesn't really matter, so I'll just go ahead and put skill, and we'll move on from there. So with regards to attributes for combat, you want to focus mainly on the physical attributes such as strength, endurance, coordination, agility. And you'll probably need willpower and perception as well from the mental attributes. So all the stuff I'm about to show you is how to create a generic basic combat character that can be done very quickly and very easily. However, I would encourage you to experiment and be creative and kind of break the mold a little bit. I'm just showing you kind of a very generic combat focus kind of character. So let's go ahead and assign the attributes. Like I said, we want to focus on strength, endurance, coordination, that kind of stuff, the physical attributes, and then probably want to go low on a lot of the mental ones. So let's go with 40 in willpower, and then intuition, we don't need that very high. We'll say that's 28. Perception, we want that to be pretty high. We'll say that's 50. And charm, we'll say, is 34. All right, so we have 399 points. We have more to spend. Let's make our person a little better looking. Let's say 35. Okay, one more. 30. Let's go with 29 tuition. Okay, we have our maxes in place. Let's go ahead and assign attribute ratings. Now, if we're starting off with a beginning level character like we have here, 16,800, the bare minimum, it's important to note that you're not going to be able to reach your max rating for most of your attributes at the beginning because you're going to blow all your character points. I would recommend the average for this race for a Danian is 25, so I would recommend keeping your attributes around 25 on average for each of your 11 attributes here, and that will save you plenty of character points to get skills and abilities and whatnot and get you off to a pretty good start. And then of course, as you play the game more, you can increase your attributes and get them to their maximums, but that's going to take time. So bearing that in mind, with 25 as the average, we want our character to be a little stronger because he is a combat-based character. Give him fairly high endurance, and as you can see, I'm punching these in. We're spending character points, and already we've lost like 3,000 character points with 2 attributes. So you got to be very careful because attributes can get expensive very quickly. Let's say 30 on agility. Hopefully we can afford that. That might be too much. Okay, beauty, we'll start this person off pretty ugly, and we'll start him off kind of stupid. And let's see, willpower, kind of cowardly to start off. And intuition, 22. Okay, perception, we'll keep that kind of high. Keep it average. Charm, I don't need charm right now. Get charm later. And then luck, let's do a 21. Okay, so we still have 5,322 character points to spend. We need to do the social traits, so let's go ahead and we need -2. Let's make this simple and just start my guy in poverty. There. All right. So I've selected poverty for the social traits. So we start with no money. We're in debt. And then that balances out our social traits. And this will be it for this video. I'm going to continue part 2. We're going to go down and cover the weapon skills, the weapon abilities, all that kind of stuff you'll need to start off as a generic combat focused character. So I hope to see you in the next video, and happy gaming.